So what's up guys, welcome to Rusty Designs and welcome to another how-to video. I 3D printed one of the bits for the steering column. I had a few people asking me, oh, where does this little bit go? Which is this bit here. And I was quite surprised, obviously. Well, I shouldn't be maybe surprised, but a lot of people didn't know where that actually went. So a few people asked, so I thought, oh, let me do a video and I'm going to show you guys what's involved, which is here, which is basically, this is the barrel kind of holder, the ignition barrel holder, because it does actually have the bearings actually there. You can't actually remove that. And there's also a lower bearing in the actual column. So I'm going to show you guys how to replace all those bits and the before and after. So let me show you guys what I'm talking about. This is Project 3B with these nice Recaros. Now, as you can see, I don't know if you can hear that. And also when you turn, it kind of makes this kind of clonking noise. It's not really great because I think the bearing at the bottom there is also gone. So yeah, this is like 30 years old. What do you expect? And that's something you use every time you get in the vehicle is the steering wheel and the steering column. So I'm going to show you guys stripping this down. Now, before we get into this, let me just show you guys some of the bits that are on the bench. So check out Wrestler Designs, guys, because I've got loads of second-hand used parts, as well as started a whole 3D printed page of bits that are really quite inexpensive and some that are quite cool and I think quite different in basically what other people are doing. So this is that little bit that I made, which is for the lower steering column. I mean, these are going to retail at like, I don't know, £5. Inexpensive, it's nylon, it's tough, and this will make a difference. The postage will probably be more than the actual item, unfortunately, and that's posted worldwide. This is being tested at the moment, which is for everyone's got an O2A gearbox with a shifter, as well as the early O2Js, so like early Mark 4s and some of the early Mark 4 platform cars that have the old style selector. You've got these little rubbers now. This doesn't shorten the throw in any way or form, but it will give a much more positive feel of it kind of going into gear. But like I said, it's being tested at the moment, kind of on a friend's car, see how it performs. So basically, that's what you get originally. It's like this little rubber bit here with this inserted sleeve, and the top kind of bolt that goes through has got a big washer. So what you do is basically remove that out of there. You strip the bush back, and then these 3D bits basically imitate what's there. So you basically put that through there, and as you can see, it's a really nice tight fit on there. And then you've got the top ring, which has got a tapered side, so it helps you kind of, again, fit that in nicely. This then also fits really nice into there, and then basically put it on the car, put it with the washer, because there's a big washer on there, bolts on there, job done. And it kind of will make, takes out this free play that you get here and gives a much more, like I said, positive feel to the shifter. And moving on from there, Mark 2 handbrake cover, both parts basically in very good condition. This one is a bit of a clean, but it's in really good condition. And this has actually got the actual flap on there, it's whole. I want to be careful, I don't want to break it here on camera. But yeah, as you can see, it's completely whole there, as well as it's got that little front bit as well that clips in. I don't know if you guys can see that, hopefully. Clips in, so that's going to be going up on the website as well. Now this bit's a bit more specialised. I guess for anyone who's got a Seat 16 valve Ibiza, or somebody that's running a Seat Ibiza ABF gear airbox in their Mark II Golf conversion. Basically, this is what is inside the airbox originally. It's got like a little takeoff here to kind of, it's got like a resonator that kind of takes the sound away. And this is the size that it shrinks down to, which is pretty shameful. Really, it's kind of to restrict. Now, I 3D printed this baby. So you can see it's a like for like, basically. It fits in perfectly. So you basically just unclip your original one and you put this monster on there. And hopefully you get a bit more response, a bit more sound. I haven't really tested this to see if it actually improves any horsepower, but I'm sure you're not going to lose over that. That's definitely a massive improvement. It's a plug and play. This actually is heavy, it's quite thick as well. And yeah, this actually takes quite a time and a lot of material to actually produce, especially the material that it's in. High temp, so it's not going to have any, it's not going to deform inside the engine bay, inside the airbox especially. Yeah, and that's basically, but it's quite a niche item for someone who's got, like I said, a ABF Seat airbox be it in a Mark II Golf or whatever it is, this will be a plug and play from what's in there to what's that. So that's going to be also on the website. That's pretty cool. Like I said, I'm kind of innovating and doing different things now. This is something I actually did for myself, and maybe other people will be interested. Now with Project Freebie, I am going to be going in a different direction with the interior and the car as a whole, but more about that later. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the central console, and I kind of want that clean look. Now some people actually don't have the central console with electric windows, but want electric windows. You know, you've got that kind of that rectangle thing. Yes, you can kind of cut it and put something in there, but that's a bit messy. This is a lot simpler, I guess. Basically what I've done is, here's a black one, but I've done it in grey so you can actually see it on the camera. So it's like this little 3D bit here. They'll be sold in pairs, again, for something like about £5 or £6. It's not going to be very expensive. The postage will probably be more than that. So that's kind of, as you can see, it's a nice interference fit, quite tight, and it literally sits flush right on there. And then what that does is, it allows you then to actually get your standard Mark II electric window switch and fit it in, and there you go. Fits perfectly, because otherwise, the original hole here is actually way too big. It doesn't fit. So, yep, it's a nice little touch where you can kind of literally get this in there. There we go. Yep, and it lets you mount window switches up high, and it's nice and neat. And especially if you want that kind of clear central console look, where you don't have the original, like the early Type 19s and stuff. It's a nice kind of workaround having electric windows. But enough of this, let's get back into today's video. So the first thing to do when you're doing anything electrical is always disconnect the battery. There's actually battery, I've actually removed it totally. So the first thing to do is actually remove the horn on your Mark II steering wheel, or get access to depending on what steering wheel you have. And there you go, there's the 24mm nut right in there. So that's pretty easy. So just remove that. There we go. All right, so the next thing I'm going to be doing is going to be removing this lower cover here for the steering column, as well as this lower tray here. Now this actually doesn't make a difference if it's right-hand drive or left-hand drive. Process is basically the same. So you've got the small Phillips in there and one in there. And then you've got 4 screws, one there, 2, 3. And on the left-hand drive cars, it's actually behind this fuse cover right there. Oh, and there's another one right there. Now, next thing we're going to be doing is removing the stalks with these 3 screws there, one there, one there, one there. And then you could kind of squeeze it underneath this, and then also unplug them. There's 4 plugs here. This one's got MFA, so we've got the extra plug here for that. So yeah, we're going to remove these here. So there you go. There's actually 6 wires. It's got kind of 2 on this side, 2 there. I've got the MFA, and then obviously the main ignition barrel one. So that's what they look like. So that's removed, and only at this point then you can actually remove this top cover. Oh, there you go, without breaking anything. There we go. So now this is the bit you're gonna need a special tool for, unfortunately, which is you're gonna need a puller. This is the bearing there. You can see, look at the play in that. Don't know if you can hear that as well. So this is the main bit. Obviously we've got to take the ignition barrel, and also we've got to drill a hole here to clip it out with the key. But again, I'll show you exactly what needs to be done. I think there's actually loads of videos, but I'm just gonna show you guys on here. So now the next thing is going to be down here, which is we've got the universal joint there, the 13 nut and bolt, and then we've got this is where that little bush goes that I showed you guys. Goes through this here. So you've got a 10 on one side, 10mm nut on that side, and it's a 13mm bolt on this side. It's quite difficult to get to, but yeah, we'll remove that, and then we'll get to the ones here at the top here, which are normally shear bolts. Now these can be really difficult to take off. I don't know if you guys can see in there. There you go. There's like a shear bolt in there, and that is a real pain to take off. As you can see, I've already changed mine for 13mm because I had the dash off. Now you can chisel these off. Sometimes they're loose. If you've got like a little small angle grinder, what I tend to do is I cut a groove into it with the angle grinder, and then you can get a flathead screwdriver and actually remove them. If you actually cut off too much and you cut that little bit in half, you'll find actually with the set more grips, it will just come off because you've taken off the pressure off the bolt, and it's normally quite easy to come off at that point. But yeah, the problem is getting an angle grinder up there. Otherwise you've got a hammer and chisel. Yeah, it's not a lot of fun. But luckily on this one, I've actually removed them already. So let's get on with doing that, and this. So here you are, guys. Column off. This is the one that actually that bush goes through, that one that I made. And as you can see, where is it? There it is there. Look at that. It's falling apart. That's literally just crumbling. Look at this. But yeah, that's why I've redesigned that one out of nylon. You can see it's actually quite worn, literally. So that adds a lot of play. There's also a spring at the bottom of there, which you can remove. There. And now we're going to put this in the vise and remove that shoulder there. So we've got the column now in the vise, and this is that bottom bearing there. Look at that. So when you turn, it's kind of the wheel just feels like it's like the universal joint's gone or something, and it's not. It's actually that there. This is where this bush goes in there like that. And as you can see, it fits perfectly there. And it's a massive improvement over the original one. Turn the column round, so you've got easy access now to take this kind of collar or shoulder off here. Basically, I'm going to use a puller, but if you don't have one, you can use a chisel and a hammer. You should be able to get this off quite easily. And then we'll remove this 6mm Allen key, and we'll be able to slide, oops. And then we'll be able to slide this out, and we can get to the switch. And then at that point, we'll drill a hole, a great big hole here. I'm going to drill a great big hole so you guys can see where it needs to be, and we'll be able to take the barrel out. So sorry, that's the 3D printer off in the background, printing off some more bits that I've sold. This is another actually little project I'm working on, which is like a Polo GT. If you don't know what those are, I think the engine code's 3F. Yeah, it's so you can fit a silicone hose onto that. But anyway, this is the contraption that I'm using to take off that shoulder. There you have it, collar off with the spring, put that to one side. So now we can remove that 6mm Allen key and then slide the barrel off. Make sure you've got the key in as well. That's another thing. This actually needs Loctite on it. As you saw, it wasn't too tight. These actually work themselves loose, and sometimes part of the problem you can have also is this is not tight. So just put a little bit of Loctite when you put that on. Now this should actually just, there you go, just slide straight off, leaving the column like that. Now what we're going to do is, or what I'm going to do is, I am going to, oh look at that. That's actually the bit that's meant to be inside there like that. As you can see, that's actually worked its way down, as well as it's actually worn away. Totally, look at that. I think that actually might be needed for the new one. This little plastic collar. That's something I might have to 3D print actually, but I don't know if I can get the 3D print to be strong, that thin. Let me see. So now it's just a case of just sliding that out. Okay, so now we're going to take off this bearing here. Now you can be tempted to try and get a pole up and hit this, but as you can see, the actual steering column is actually retractable. That's in case you have an accident, it kind of goes in, and that's what that is there. So don't actually hit it because you will make it shorter or longer. So yeah, not a great idea. So just with a chisel, hopefully be able to work this off and actually take this off from here. So it's actually coming off quite easy actually. Okay, so I've had to, because it was only quite light, I did tap it with a rod to get the job done. So as you can see here, side by side, look how much play that's got there. This middle bit compared to that is just smooth and very little play. So now I'm just assuming, okay, let's just give this a little tap to make sure it's all the way in nicely. So the first thing we've got to do is we're going to remove this switch, and there's a little screw right there, little Phillips, and then the ignition switch can come out. And at this point we're ready to drill the hole. So as you can see, the VW sign is there, and it's around there more or less. I've just kind of put a punch there, punch mark, so you can put the drill in. And now we're going to, I think it's about an 8mm drill. You don't really need to go this size. So hopefully you can see that in there. It's that bit there. So you can see it kind of pushes in. Don't know if you can see that. And that's the bit. And then basically what you do is you push that in, and then you pull the key out. All right, so what you need to do for this part is actually take the key out. So now I'm going to push the clip in, and from underneath I'm going to push up, and there you go. As simple as that. So now we're going to put this into the new one, and it's really quite simple. It just lines up. That lines up with that there, and it should literally just, as simple as that, pop straight in. And now put the key in, make sure it all works. Yep. So now before we put this back onto the column, let's put the switch in, because you won't be able to get to it otherwise. Make sure it's in the right position as well. So now with the original nut and the washer, with the key out, so it's locked to the column, just tighten it up. And what's doing, it's actually pushing the collar down. So kind of once you've gone a bit of a way, then get some more washers to build it up. Got these giant ones. And I'll just go again until I've reached the end, basically. Now hopefully you're going to see, I mean, look at that, there's absolutely no play in that at all. That is such a nice fit. At least the good news was that little collar bit was still usable. And yeah, look at that, it's got no play in it at all. That's absolutely perfect on both ends. So look at that. That's really, really cool. So now that is ready basically to be fitted back on, and I absolutely can't wait to see what that feels like. So there you go, all mounted up. Moment of truth now. Yeah, look at that. No knocking noises. I used to kind of get like a little clunking noise. That's the seat actually moving. Yep. Nope. Yeah, it feels really nice. There you go, guys. That's how you do your update and freshen up your steering column bushes. Again, thanks for watching. Check out wrestledesigns.com. Subscribe, like, share. You know how it works. Peace out, guys.